I got a DNW here, Dave, because I did not watch Silicon Valley this season. Maybe that speaks to just like the state of the show in general. This was one of the first shows we ever talked about on Nowstalgia Pod when we started it off. I think it was at that point in its second or third season, back in
I think third season,
2016.
yeah.
And this has been a show we've rode for, and to be honest, I just did not feel compelled or interested to jump into this last season with, I think, like the middling results of the prior season, where you really missed the presence of TJ Miller, and I think the show kind of struggled to find its groove. Did that continue in this season? Did I make a mistake in not watching?
I'd say no. I mean, we don't have to get too granular into the actual plot for this final season. I kind of want to more just reflect on like what Silicon Valley did and didn't do right all along, and like what its legacy is. Because, as you said, I think once T.J. Miller left the show, and the team was certainly in their right to get rid of him, his actions on set and all that, Mike Judge and crew, but the show's never able to replace that energy that he brought, that dynamic. And as we watched the past few seasons, you realize that Silicon Valley like just never was able to find a role for Monica, which was always unfortunate because she should have represented the marginalized place of women in tech. Mm-hmm. And instead she was a marginalized woman on a show about tech. So that was always very unfortunate. She's always felt very hamstrung to the show. Along those same lines, characters like Big Head, Jin Yang, characters that have amazing moments, hilarious stuff, just kind of seemed like they were just on the show because to be on the show, everything just became much more contrived with the storylines and ultimately also very predictable. How things would go right and go wrong for Richard and Gavin. And you kind of would understand ahead of time where they were going to take these arcs, and they would kind of end exactly where you expected them to. And that I think it's a little disappointing. The show just started to spin its wheels. That being said, well, it never became like a transcendent comedy the way Veep did. I think there's still a lot to like about Silicon Valley, obviously. And I mean, I think ultimately its lasting legacy is probably that it just gave us the star that is Kumail and Johnny, obviously. Also raised the profile of Zach Woods, TJ Miller, Jimmy O Yang, right? Like there's just, and of course Martin Starr, who was a child star before.
Middleditch, bro.
I don't know about Middleditch, like he's actually a very successful guy now. He's in a lot of stuff. I think what's your favorite thing he's been in apart from Silicon Valley? Like he was in Godzilla 2, big deal. No one really cared. He was kind of funny in Zombieland too, but like he hasn't had a great like moment apart from like his Verizon commercials, apart from the show, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Wasn't he in that movie like Christmas Party or something like that, or Holiday Party?
Office Christmas Party.
Yeah. I think he was in that. I didn't see that, obviously, so maybe that was it. I don't know. Not a good sign for Mr. Middleditch.
Yeah, I can't even find anything to think of it, but
that's fine.
I mean, do you have a favorite moment on the show?
Oh yeah, the best moment on the show of all time is the jerking off the dicks.
Yeah, mean jerk time.
Yep, that's by far the moment's like lasting legacy in terms of moments. That first two, like the first season, is just every episode is straight fire. The dynamic in the crew, it's fantastic. They really were never able to recapture that totally after the first season.
Right. Yeah. What you really need is dick to floor. We'll call that D2F. I just watched it today. I think the mean jerk time scene is one of the funniest scenes in television history. I don't think that's hyperbole at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was also the height of the show. And that was several years ago now.
Yeah, it's crazy because that's the end of season 1, I believe.
Is that season 1?
Yeah. Fuck. I'm pretty sure.
2014 or 13 then? 15?
I mean,
I don't know. A while ago.
There were definitely a lot of really good moments. I'm trying to remember what his name is, the crazy rich guy who kind of pops in and out.
Russ Hanneman.
Yes, Russ. He's great.
He had some good moments this season, but again, like towards the end, seeing Russ pop back up just for no real reason, just because we have this actor in the ensemble, we need to get him back in there. It's just narratively it was hard to get invested when the same mistakes and resolutions kept happening. But yeah,
You know what I think really kind of derailed the show, and it was never able to totally get back on track with was when I'm trying to find what his name was, but the first person who was investing in them, that actor died. Um,
oh
and
right, yes.
hold on, I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah,
But
Lori used to work for him.
yeah, it was. This is great radio right
Yeah,
now.
that
He's
guy's
such a
really good.
weird guy. Nelson Bertram, Guilford. No, Dinesh Peter. Christopher Welch,
Yeah.
Peter Gregory. Um,
Yes. There it
and
is.
when when he passed away, after I think it was the second season, they really weren't able to, I think, fill that role effectively, because he brought such a weird but funny presence to the show, and embodied like the strangeness of tech, but also kind of he was still kind of like a sweet guy. And they tried to like recapture that with Monica's boss.
Lori.
Yeah, Lori, and she just, I feel like, never really caught on the same way. And then they kind of tried to like rebrand her with like trying
Mhm.
to be friends with Monica, or kind of being friends with Monica. Monica was her best friend, even though Monica wasn't aware of this. Um, and it just never really
She's
fit.
back in the new season too, in case you're wondering.
And I think that kind of just led Richard to become like a character that people just didn't like. I didn't like Richard at all. And
Nope.
with a show like this, it's not like a show like Succession where you could hate all the characters and keep going. Like, if you hate the characters in this, you're just gonna be like, I don't need this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a top tier comedy, at least after like the second or third season. I feel like wasn't in anyone's like top 10 list of the year or anything like that. So you really need to make the show like sweet and something that was, I think, hitting on more cylinders than just being funny, and never really found that footing again, which is too bad.
Yeah.
But
But skewering tech culture, we can still get more of that. And that's probably tonally, that was probably the best thing about the show.
for
And
sure.
definitely looking forward to seeing more of that in the future.
Yeah, there's definitely a space for that, especially when, if anyone that's been following the pod, Dave and I both had Social Network in our top 10 for that exact reason, that it's an incredibly relevant topic and a really well made movie. So
Right.
This topic, people want to hear about it. They just maybe need to find a different way to do it.